right, good morning. We're gonna make coffee this morning. I'm actually gonna try it a little differently today. I've been like wanting to switch it up just a bit lately. We're gonna do some honey. Do like maybe a little over a tablespoon of honey, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of pure vanilla extract. Just a little splash, and then a little salt. I think I'll do just a little bit of brown sugar as well. I wasn't gonna do brown sugar, but I think I'll do just a little bit of brown sugar in here. Maybe like a teaspoon or so. And then 2 shots of espresso. Okay, maybe that's not the best idea. Shake it up. Are you supposed to do this with ice? Maybe I'm not doing this right. I'm spilling half my coffee out. Okay. Milk. Fairlife fat-free milk. We're gonna give this a try and see if I need to add anything else to it. It needs a little more sweetener to it, I think. Take some of my favorite creamer, a little splash of that in here. All right, and that should be perfect. All right, I'm gonna enjoy this as I'm getting ready this morning without any kids awake. Welcome back to another What I Eat in a Day video. I'm Haley and I'm a mama of 5, and I thought I'd share a quick little backstory of my postpartum journey. So I had my 5th baby in February of 2025 and quickly wanted to get healthier, and I always gained a lot of weight during pregnancy, so I knew I wanted to get back getting healthier, do what I needed to do, just feel better. So I started out with Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers is something that I did for a long time. I had really great success with it and lost a good bit of weight in the beginning with Weight Watchers from about February, or probably more like March, up until like September. And then September of 2025 is when I switched over to macros, and I've been counting macros ever since and have had great success with it. And I cannot recommend macros enough. I know a lot of people love Weight Watchers. A lot of you have found me from my Weight Watchers content, and I think it's one of those things, if that works for you, great, I love that for you, but I found something different that works for me, and it's been great. So macros has been wonderful, and I'll share a little bit more about what I use to track macros in just a bit, but it's just a little backstory. I have been able to lose, since I had my 5th baby, 75 pounds, and it's just been great. So counting macros along with running and working out, so that mainly running, so that is kind of just a little backstory on what I do and how I've been able to get healthier. But I'm getting ready to make my water for the day. I have not done that yet. I always start out with electrolytes every single day. Electrolytes every single day. I love, I've been drinking electrolytes for probably over 2 years now. Every day with my first water of the day. I also sometimes drink a little bit more of these depending on if I have like a long run or something. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and make breakfast this morning. My kids have already had breakfast. We actually had cinnamon rolls this morning, but I'm gonna do a breakfast bowl. A lot of times I do this with some kind of meat. I like to do bacon in this, like center cut bacon, but I do not have that today. But I love these breakfast bowls. I'm actually gonna get started with hash browns first. I love these breakfast bowls because they just have lots of protein in them. So I'm gonna do a serving of hash browns first. All right, we're gonna use a pan that I used just a bit ago for Camden's breakfast. I'm gonna serve it of shredded hash browns. But we'll say that's about a serving, and then I'll just season it really good. Salt and pepper, and probably some garlic powder, paprika. My go-to breakfast are this breakfast bowl. I have this at least a few times a week, honestly. Or I'll do some eggs and toast for breakfast, or I'll do a yogurt bowl, like with some chia seeds, yogurt, mixed berries, honey. Those are like my 3 main go-to breakfasts, but I've been having this a lot recently. Yesterday I had a yogurt bowl. I just usually switch it up, but this is like definitely a go-to breakfast of mine, especially once you add eggs, cottage cheese, full of protein. Honestly, bacon makes this like extra good. I'm just out of it today. I'm just gonna do this 2% milk one, half a cup of it. All right, I need to calculate the macros on this because I can't remember exactly, but good bit of protein. It's so yummy. If y'all are not making this breakfast bowl, it is such a go-to of mine, almost at least a few times a week. All right, breakfast was delicious. I can share a little breakdown of my macros later on in the video too, or maybe at the end. But my coffee this morning was about 200 calories, 16 grams of protein, which is a good bit for some coffee. That that Fairlife milk really helps with protein. My breakfast was about 300 calories, 25 grams of protein, 20 carbs. Like I said, I'll share them a little bit more at the end, my macros, but they're so easy to track on the Nourish app. It's just truly been a game changer. All right, it is lunchtime. I love to meal prep lunch each week. I don't do it every week, but I definitely feel like it really helps on the weeks that I do. I just like change it up my meal prep and trying new things. So I came across this on Instagram. I'll have to look up who it was on Instagram that I saw this little meal prep recipe from, but I prepped a few things for it yesterday, so I'm gonna share that here and then I'll come back and assemble everything. Okay, for meal prep, we're gonna get started with my chicken. I'm just gonna do a couple chicken breasts here. We're gonna season this with some salt, pepper, and then my favorite seasoning for chicken. I'm just about out of this, but this stuff is so good. I'm gonna air fry this on 375 for probably like 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, while the chicken's cooking, I'm also gonna air fry potatoes. I'm just gonna chop my potatoes up and season these as well. I'm just gonna dice these, cut these up into like small pieces. Okay, potatoes. Do maybe like a teaspoon of olive oil. And then we're gonna do salt and pepper, paprika, and garlic powder. So we'll give these a shake and we'll air fry these whenever the chicken's done. All right, I steamed some frozen broccoli. We've got our chicken. I'm gonna chop this up and we're gonna probably get about 3 days out of this. These are pretty big pieces of chicken. So I'm gonna chop it up and get a few days. All right, we've got our cut up chicken and our potatoes. All right, so I'm gonna assemble the bowls. I'm gonna go ahead and heat up a couple of things. I'm gonna heat up most of these potatoes. I think I'm actually gonna do all of them. There's not many of those left. And then about half of this chicken in here. I'm just gonna heat it up in my air fryer. Right, we're gonna assemble our bowl. We're gonna do our potatoes and our chicken. Also, this is so filling. Like yesterday when I had this, I didn't even eat it all. I didn't measure the potatoes and the chicken, but we're gonna say I got them about right. All right, potatoes and chicken. I'm gonna measure everything else. I'm gonna show y'all the reel I got this from, so that way I need to go check out the rest of her reels to see if I see anything else I need to make. This is where I got it from. It's called Macros with Them is the name. We've got our potatoes and our chicken. Also the macros on this is so good. All right, next we're gonna do some broccoli. It calls for about 2 cups, but I don't have 2 cups. I've got maybe a cup of it in here. I'm telling you, this is like the most filling lunch. All right, we're gonna do some bacon. I've just got these real bacon pieces. I'm gonna do 7 grams of these. Okay. And then we're gonna do some cheddar cheese. I've just got this reduced fat cheddar cheese. We're gonna do 28 grams of this, which is a good bit. Then I'm actually gonna microwave this. I like to microwave it to melt the cheese a little bit. That didn't melt it too much. And then I'm gonna add some sour cream. You could also do plain non-fat Greek yogurt. You could do a couple tablespoons of sour cream. The macros on this are great. It's about, she's already calculated them on here. 387 calories, 49 grams of protein, 20 carbs, 8 grams of fat and fiber as well. It's really good. I, again, will probably not eat all this because I feel actually pretty full still from earlier, but it is a great meal prep. All right, we're gonna go to water number 2 of the day. Most days I try to get 3 of these, so I usually do pretty good with it. Okay, I told y'all I'd talk a little bit more about the app that I use to track macros, and that is called Nourish. You've heard me talk about Nourish before. If you've been around here for any time at all, Nourish has been such a game changer for me and my goals. If you've never heard of Nourish, it is the easiest way to speak with a registered dietitian. I meet with my dietitian that I have been meeting with since last August or September. We meet through Zoom, which is super convenient. We actually have a meeting coming up in just a few days, and just like a little check-in meeting. She's given me so many great tools to be successful with just getting healthier in my weight loss journey. If you have not checked out Nourish, I highly encourage you to check it out. 94% of Nourish patients pay $0 out of pocket, which has been my case every single time. I first discovered Nourish last August or September, and it has been the most helpful thing for me along with my weight loss journey. Whether you want to be like me and just we're postpartum and just want to be healthier, you want to lose some postpartum baby weight or whatever it may be, whether you have other things going on that you'd like to speak with a dietitian about, there's so many health related topics that they can help you with. I know not everyone has my goals and wants to lose weight, but you may have other goals that she can also, or your dietitian can also help you with. Also, I actually just realized this, they can also, you can also do some labs with your dietitian, which I think that's really cool. And the biggest thing for me has been the app. I love using the app. It has been a game changer for macros for me. If you've ever thought about doing macros, I highly recommend checking out Nourish and downloading the Nourish app because it's the easiest way to track my macros. I wanted to show y'all really quickly. This is what the app looks like. I just like leave a screen recording here. I just go in each day and type in what I'm having for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It keeps track of it. It has all my macros that my dietitian set for me. When we first met in the beginning, I told her my goals. I told her I was breastfeeding. We went over my height and weight, and she set my macros for me, and she can adjust those as needed. So all that is in here. The app is really great too. You can get really good meal ideas on the app. You can also message your dietitian if you have any questions, if you have anything that comes up and you need to message them. It really is, cannot stress enough like how easy this app is to use. They also have the Nourish Guarantee, which that means your appointment will never cost more than the estimate that they give you. Since I started counting macros, I have seen so many changes in myself, not only with the scale, but so many other changes as well. And I definitely think that Nourish has been such a big tool in that. I get messages almost daily about so many of y'all have tried Nourish, or you have your first appointment coming up, or you just had an appointment, how much you also love it. So if you have not checked it out, go to the link in my description. I love it because I'm able to meet my goals and pay $0 out of pocket the entire time. You can use the link in my description. It takes like 5 minutes to sign up. Go see if it's covered by your insurance, and I'll have everything below. All right, changed into something a little more appropriate to play outside in for the evening. But the kids and I are headed out to celebrate. What are we celebrating?
Ending school.
Last day of school. Y'all don't seem too enthused by that. Okay, we did finish up school a few weeks ago, or a couple weeks ago, our curriculum, but we have not done our state testing yet, but we did that today. We woke up and we're actually gonna do it tomorrow because Dad is off work tomorrow. But I was like, hey, do y'all want to at least start on your state testing today? So the girls got their state testing all done today. They started it and they were like, we're just gonna finish it. So they got it done. So we're gonna celebrate by going and getting like a little like slushy icy thing, and I thought we'd do that since we're all done, completely done for the summertime. We're very excited for that. And on the way, I think I'm gonna grab an iced coffee. I got into a really bad habit for a while of, I would go way too many times every week to get an afternoon iced coffee, but I hadn't done that in a while. I haven't done that in a while, but I'm going to today because we're heading out and it's like almost 3 o'clock. I'm gonna go get a decaf iced coffee for the evening. I forgot to share this, but I ate probably half of my lunch today. Just wasn't like crazy hungry at lunchtime, so I ended up eating about half of it. So I kind of guesstimated about the macros, what I thought it would be. Honestly, throughout my whole journey of macros, I know some people need like the weigh everything, make sure it's 100% right, but I've actually felt like honestly guessing, like, all right, I didn't weigh my chicken today, I did not weigh my potatoes today, but I guessed him, like kind of guess about what it is. That's worked for me the whole time. So I know, like, again, I think some people would need more of a strict, it's like, all right, I know I've got 3 ounces of potatoes, or I know I've got 6 ounces of chicken, or whatever that may be. So I ate about half of it and guesstimated all the macros for that. But I'm gonna eat a snack, and I'm actually cooking dinner before long, but since I didn't eat a lot of lunch today, and then my coffee, I forgot to share what I got for my coffee too. Sometimes I'm a slacker with that. But I just got a decaf iced latte made with fat-free milk, some brown sugar, and cold foam. It's always my favorite coffee. So I just typed that in the app. 2 shots of espresso, which it was decaf, like a half a cup of fat-free milk, a couple teaspoons of brown sugar, and then some cold foam. All right, so I'm gonna eat a chomp stick for a snack today, and then I think I'm gonna eat some of these pretzels too to kind of balance it out. Maybe like I'll probably do like a half a serving of these. A serving is 23 pieces, and we'll count out about half of that. Love these. It's like a go-to snack of mine. Okay, I decided to go with my pretzels. I'm gonna eat some of these cheese wedges. These are really super macro friendly, 45 calories. So while I'm eating the pretzels, I'm gonna dip them. Love this snack. Love this cheese with pretzel, it's so good. Okay, dinner tonight. We had this a couple weeks ago, and my kids have been requesting it since. If you're looking for the easiest family-friendly pasta meal, this is it. My kids love this. I do mine a little bit differently, so I'll kind of show y'all how I do mine to fit my macros a little better. I'm sure I have plenty of macros just to eat it this way. I just prefer to do mine a little differently, but it's such an easy pasta meal. So it's like a tortellini pasta bake. I got 2 of these, but I'm thinking I might should have got 3 of these. We're gonna make this work either way, it's fine. I can always cook up some, I think I've got some like regular spaghetti noodles if I need to do that. But tortellini pasta bake, it's delicious. It has Alfredo and marinara sauce in it. So how I do mine, to do mine a little differently, I just take some meat sauce out, and I do zucchini noodles. That way I can save the extra calories for garlic bread, because I'd rather have that, because I love doing zucchini noodles with pasta night and just making it a little more healthier. So we're gonna get started with 2 pounds of lean ground, or 1.5 pounds of lean ground beef. Making changes like substitutions, like my family's having tortellini noodles with their dinner. Making changes like I haven't always, but for the past few years, when we have pasta night, I usually swap the actual noodles out with zucchini noodles, and I love that. I really like zucchini noodles. So making changes for me has helped me reach my goals, changes that I don't feel restricted, because I am eating the zucchini noodles, but I'm also gonna eat my favorite garlic bread too. So I'm like, one of the things whenever I started working with a dietitian, she helped me with figuring out like what are balanced meals and not having multiple carbs on your plate. But so for me, it's like I've got a plate of veggies, the zucchinis, I've got my protein, I do have my carb because of the bread, so kind of just make it a little more balanced. So for me, I'm still able to not feel so restricted. I enjoy the zucchini noodles, but then I would much rather have my carbs in the form of garlic bread. And so that's kind of the swaps I make to help me reach my goals. Okay, once your meat is done, we're gonna add a jar of pasta sauce. Okay, and then when I'm done with this, I'm actually gonna take a portion out from me and just go ahead and stick it in a bowl, because this will be what I'll do on my zucchini noodles. Okay, we have our tortellini. And then we're gonna add this jar of Alfredo sauce. I might start with the majority of this jar because this is a little bit of a bigger jar. So I'm gonna start with some of it. We may not need all of the Alfredo sauce. Yeah, this is probably actually good. We might save the rest. I might add just a little bit more. So we coat the noodles in Alfredo sauce, and it's so good because it's like a mixture of red sauce and Alfredo. So it's like, man, just a yummy mixture of both. Let's assemble this. I do have regular noodles going for my child who prefers regular noodles, so that's fine. All right, so we're gonna do all of these noodles in the bottom of this pan. And this is actually going to be perfect for my family. I was afraid 2 of those weren't going to be good, but it's perfect. And all this is from Aldi, cheap Aldi meal, not anything crazy expensive. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and layer some of the meat sauce. I need to save some for me because I have not got mine out yet. So I'm just going to do a layer of meat sauce. And you can do this recipe with any kind of pasta. You do not have to do tortellini pasta. You can just do fettuccine. You can do... There's Cam. You can do spaghetti noodles. You can do any kind of pasta noodles, whatever your family prefers. And then we're going to do some mozzarella on top. All right, we're going to bake this in the oven on 350 for like 20 minutes. This garlic bread from Aldi. Parmesan Romano is so yummy. This is our favorite. And the macros, let's look at the macros on it. For 1/5 of it, which is a pretty big slice. 200 calories, 10 grams of fat, 21 carbs. I don't eat 1/5 of it for sure. But it's so yummy. Look at that. This meal is always a hit. I definitely had room in my macros today. If I just wanted to eat a little serving of this, I could have definitely made room for it. But again, I just love what I do, my little moderations that I make, and then I can have bread with it. So I will share the macros here in just a minute. Dinner was delicious. And then for dessert, I got these little dessert shells from Aldi on my order this week. So I did these two dessert shells. They're like 80 calories each. And then I did a little bit of Cool Whip and some strawberries on top. And it's a really good dessert. Typically my desserts are little ice cream bars like Yasso or then Light and Brand ice cream bars. But I decided to do something a little different today once we got home from our busy evening. But I hope you guys enjoyed coming along for everything I ate today. And I'll see you guys soon for another one.